Okay, so I'll start first with injuries, kind of self-explanatory. DeAndre Swift was limited today, didn't move around some in some individual, a couple team periods. So we'll see as the week goes on as far as his availability for the game.
So is that kind of a game time, or do you think he'll be able to go Monday?
I mean, I'm positive about it, but we'll see over the next couple of days. See how it goes.
How important is to have a good quality group of running backs, especially with a blitz-heavy defense that you guys are going to face on Monday night?
Yeah, but I think it's twofold. I think obviously the running back spot is a very volatile position when it comes to what those guys are actually do, the amount of contact that happens with that position, and how volatile it can be. But I think what you mentioned before, obviously pass protection wise, is going to be utmost important for a defense that brings pressure almost every single snap or gives the illusion of pressure every single snap. But plus also kind of get the run game going as well to keep guys fresh, rotate throughout the entire game so we can keep that ball rolling with that.
In our conversations last couple of weeks with you, you've said, that you want your running backs to hit the hole, essentially to hit the hole when they're supposed to hit the hole, but also that good running backs, special running backs can make something out of nothing, and it's not offensive line dependent.
Yeah.
Swift in particular, do you want him? Are you pleased with the amount of time that he hits the hole when he's supposed to hit it versus when he tries to make more out of it?
Yeah, so I'll go a couple steps back. I believe that every running back is dependent on the O-line. But I do believe that special backs can create for themselves. So what I mean by that is you can turn a 4-yard play, a play that's blocked before, into an 8+ yard run that can, win the one-on-one opportunities. I don't know any back in history, even though Barrett's my favorite, that's not dependent on the O-line. You still need those guys to. I know what you meant though, but just to clarify that. But I think as far as Swift goes, I think it's about being able to understand how to be detailed, which he's been, and obviously. Not always. I think with special guys that have special ability, not trying to search up and hunt up the home run play, to be consistent with that, to take efficient runs, 4, 5, 6 yard runs, and be able to obviously maximize one opportunities you have when they present themselves.
You guys had success running the ball against Green Bay a couple weeks back.
Right.
Other than that, it's been tough sledding. Has there been a common denominator to some of the outings where you haven't got the production you would have liked?
Yeah, I think it's twofold. Like I mentioned before, when it comes to the floor of the game and the score of the game, obviously dictates that to a degree. Also, you talk about different opponents. So Green Bay is a normal match defense. So they match nickel to 11. They match base to 12. I'm assuming you're talking about Minnesota and Detroit, who don't. They play different styles of football. So it makes it a different floor of the game when it comes to how you find matchups, how you get the run game going. Because obviously Minnesota is a big personnel match defense. They'll play some nickel, but they'll also play Bronco, which is 5 bigs on the field, 1 interior backer, and then still have a nickel with 4 DBs, 2 safeties, and 2 corners. So it's kind of a different front structure to kind of run the ball against. But as always, I mean, the goal is to try to find ways to be efficient with that, to be balanced as well when it comes to running the football. But balance to me ultimately just means being able to run when I want to run and throw when I want to throw. And the flow of the game dictates that. So I think we've had some positive moments to be able to move the ball, to be efficient and score points, whether or not it's been a true balance of the run and the pass.
Thomas, when you face a team for the second time, what are the challenges of that in terms of the week of preparation? Not over-adjusting to what you think they may do, but also sticking to what you think is the best approach for this second matchup.
Yeah, I think it's more positive than negative. I think obviously familiar opponent, especially when you have a rookie quarterback that's had a chance to see the coverages, see the pressures, adjust to them, and play pretty well against the first opponent. Like I said before, it's going to be different the second time around because they make adjustments, especially Flores will do, I'm sure, a great job of disguising stuff, changing up his game plan from the first time. But ultimately, I think it's about us being able to operate how we want to operate, to communicate properly. Obviously, on the road, it's going to be probably the loudest environment we've been a part of, which is awesome. I love loud stadiums. I love the juice that kind of provides as well. So I think also going on the road forces you to kind of focus more on yourself as well. So kind of just it's us against the world type mentality. So all those things kind of be included to me leads us to give an opportunity to have success.
You said you love loud stadiums, but they're most likely going to be, going against you, obviously. What do you love about going to opponent's team that does bring that energy?
I just think the environment. I think when you talk about growing up being a competitor, if you truly want to compete, I think it's something that's special about going on the road, dealing with all the elements, the road environment, the crowd noise. But again, it makes it more difficult to communicate. So I'm not saying it's easier doing that. It's actually harder doing that. But I think just the competitive juices get flowing, the environment of being in the arena, kind of almost the old gladiator mentality. So bringing up those juices.
Thomas, we talked about the slow starts, and I know you mentioned sequencing and different things that you guys can do. I know there's a lot of things you could do schematically that you're not going to go into, but just in practice, what can you do during the week to try to get the jump started? the first drive looks better than it's been.
Yeah, again, to me, it's more psychological at times when it comes to just the approach overall. And I've mentioned several times that plays are just on a sheet of paper until we bring them to life. So it's about understanding of how to get guys, obviously, going early in the game, but us just making plays, being efficient, being detailed, not always just hunting the big plays all the time, which I don't think we do that for the most part in the first half of games. But I take a big part of that ownership aspect of it, of how I call the game early on to get us in the flow and the rhythm. And it's always going to be a collaborative effort between players and coaches.
Thanks, guys.
Have a great day.
Appreciate your time.
Appreciate y'all.